Welcome to the Two Wealth Show, a show that shares how you can create real wealth for you and your family. I'm one of your hosts, Justin Bogard, and my co-host is Elizabeth Sickles, aka Super E. I am a real estate note investor, specializing in performing residential real estate debt. I find the deals, acquire them for my own portfolio, as well as educate investors while walking them through the process of owning a real estate note. My co-host Super E, a real estate investor, specializing in short-term rentals and the management of them. She connects investors with short-term tenants and manages everything in between. Our show is sponsored by BrightPath Notes and Elizabeth Maora. You can find out more information by visiting our websites at brightpathnotes.com and elizabethmaora.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the Two Wealth Show. This is episode number 10. I'm Justin Bogard with BrightPath Notes.
And I am Elizabeth Maora Sickles, aka Super E. And today we want to talk to you about being prepared both in real estate and then also in your personal life. So as far as just a lot of tips and tricks that you can use as we're moving through all the things that are going on in the world today.
Great. I'm excited for this. I'm excited to reach episode 10. So, Elizabeth, let's just get into it.
All right. So one of the things that I think is really important and what I've done, which I've not done since I was a kid, but is to make a garden.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And my backyard, if you don't have an area that's ideal, it's really nice that today you can do it in your landscaping. And which is actually what I did because my backyard it's completely shaded. So I've got I have a garden in my landscaping, but I put my herbs in a couple of containers, and I'm going to put tomato plants in my containers also.
I don't know much about that.
Do you not have a green thumb or?
Nope. I just checked. I don't have a green thumb.
Well, and I think that one of the things that you can do if you live in town or you don't have access to land or you can't be part of a co-op is that you can also do hydroponics.
Okay.
So, and what hydroponics is it's growing fruits and vegetables in water. So
Okay.
You don't need dirt for hydroponics.
Okay. So no soil, no dirt, no nothing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And we're really lucky in Indianapolis. We have some really highly rated hydroponics places. And actually, I'm going to go visit them this weekend. If you don't have that or don't have access to that, you can always go on Amazon or you can go to stores. If for whatever reason you can't get to that store, a lot of stores are shipping directly now as well. So there's always a way. There's always a way to make something happen. So just know that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can do an investment in hydroponics for as little as $50, and then of course you can get into so it can be super inexpensive, and especially if things continue on, then you can have something that's growing in the wintertime if you're not in a warmer climate. So
now that I get, that makes sense. So you're talking about if you can't get outside, you can't grow things, so you can put those things in just a pot, some sort of pot, and then you put water in it, and then the vegetable and stuff grows inside it just with water.
Yes, just with water. And they do sell special lighting for it also. And the lighting actually starts at anywhere from $30, and of course that goes up to thousands of dollars. But again, the key is that it's very inexpensive just to have something on hand.
Okay. So I'm just assuming you know a lot more about this than maybe I should be asking questions, but so the growth rate of the plants and vegetables, is it the same as if it was in a garden in the soil outside?
I have exhausted my knowledge on hydroponics at this point. So,
whoops, sorry.
That's okay. I've literally I've been around it a little bit, but I've not done any research. But that's actually my project for the next couple of days. That way on Saturday when I go to the store, I can just buy everything and be set.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'd like to see a setup with it. I'll have to look that up on the internet after we're done today and see what that looks like. But people like do that in a larger scale. I'd be interested in seeing how that looks. 'Cause I've heard the word before, but I never really dived into exactly what it is that they're talking about, or what does that mean, and how does it benefit, or why does that make sense? And now I get it now, as we're living through this time right now. It makes
Yes.
sense.
And actually, this is kind of interesting. There's a company here in Indianapolis that they do shipping containers with, I'm positive I was there. It's with hydroponics. I'm almost sure. But they grow marijuana in these shipping containers. Yeah. And they have this, it's a really incredible setup. And this is all for medical grade, marijuana, of course.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Sure. What street corner is this on? Yeah.
Exactly. So, but yeah, there's a lot of different uses. I met a guy that does hydroponics on a huge scale. He's just outside of Muncie, here in Indiana, and he has a very impressive operation, and he grows all kinds of stuff, and the food tastes delicious. He also
Awesome.
has, like people can get really extravagant, and like he has fish that are swimming underneath all of his fruits and veggies. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so this is something to keep, if you have kids at home, it's something that can keep them busy and intrigued for a little while.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
can do your own little science camp at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I just think it's, something that you can definitely do right now.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's just a fun conversation off our usual topics,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's important that we make sure that we have a food supply.
I think food supply would be important. Yes. Now more than ever, right? Because things are a little bit different. As we're recording this, we're recording it in May. So things are starting to loosen up, I guess, for our state. We live in Indiana, and there's a lot of businesses are going through the first phase of this 4 phases they're supposed to go through as far as how they get back to quote unquote normal. And so what have you been seeing that's just that you see differently than you did a month ago, since now that we're starting to open up things, and some states have actually regressed and actually opened up and then stepped back, and some businesses opened up and then they stepped back and closed again. I don't know if you read, I didn't read the whole article, so I don't have all the information, but the headline was basically Topgolf opened up for like one day, I think, and then they reclosed quickly. So I didn't get a chance to read that whole article, but I saw that headline. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So maybe I should go back and read that, but I don't know if you caught that. But
I didn't, but I was by there yesterday, and there were people in the bays. Like, I know they're only doing every other bay right now, so maybe they've made changes and opened back up. But
yeah, for those of you that don't know what Topgolf is, it's a place that's like it's not simulated golf. It's golf where you are at a driving range, but you're on different levels you can hit from, and then you're just hitting out there, and they have tracking devices on the ball that shows your distance and stuff, and then you can hit different pins they have set up throughout the range. So that's what Topgolf is. It's fun for anyone.
Yes, we did the company Christmas party there last year.
Oh, you did?
Yes, they loved it. It's a lot of fun. That's how we roll. And actually, my real estate brokerage, I just found out this week that we have a platinum membership so that we can take clients. And so, yeah, if you want to go, let me know.
Hey, I'm game anytime.
So that's a really good actually, to answer your question, so Friday night, I went out to a restaurant, and I have to say the only thing that was different, it was pretty packed. The only thing that was different was the fact that the waiters were wearing masks.
Oh, okay.
But it was so nice to be, I don't like to cook anyway, so it was really nice to be gone.
So you've been struggling for a while.
I have. eating a lot of special macaroni and cheese because that's easy in spaghetti.
Right. You can get tired of spaghetti quickly.
Yes.
Excuse me.
What about you guys? Have you guys been out, your family?
We've stopped by Chick-fil-A and got Chick-fil-A a couple of times, the carry out, and a McDonald's drive-thru I think we hit once. And we tried to order from a restaurant and get carry out. And I think it was on Mother's Day, which was a big mistake. So everybody was so packed with getting delivery orders that we just had to end up canceling our order because it was going to be hours before we would get our food. And I really felt bad for the employees that worked at those restaurants, just because you got a taste for what they had to go through. I mean, obviously, when you go to a restaurant, you can seat so many people, like, a couple hundred people or whatever, and you have people that serve the food and stuff take care of it, and then you have the cooks that can handle that volume. And then when you have thousands of people wanting to make orders, and you have a lot less people, and you're trying to all funnel it in through a couple of cooks, at a restaurant, I can just see how it's just overburdensome for them. So I felt really bad for them, and I was just like, hey, look, you guys have it worse than I do right now. I can go figure out where to get food somewhere else. So, but that's been my only experience at the restaurant. I've heard of other people that have gone out to eat and stuff in different states, and at 50% capacity or whatever. But that's just been my experience. So we've been pretty good about staying in the house and only going out when we need to. But we're definitely ready to get out and do some different things, or hopefully take a vacation soon.
Excellent. Speaking of which, so that really brings up two points on the real estate side.
Okay.
Right. So the first point is you've got these restaurants, and I was at my parents' this weekend. And Sunday we went to a restaurant, and they're at the 50% capacity. They're taking away part of the seating and stuff. So it begs the question, like, what's going to happen to our food costs there, because the restaurants still have the leases they have to pay, and they still have utilities and everything else, just as if they were seating everybody.
Right.
So I think we're going to see probably some major differences in commercial real estate. And, kind of the flip to that also is that, anytime that there's the negative, it's not really negative, it's just reality in it, but there's also the opportunity in it. Right. So is there just going to be more delivery? I didn't read the article, but I know in Indianapolis, they're going to be shutting down some of the streets so that they can, they're going to be shutting down the street to vehicle traffic so that they can do more outdoor seating. So, just like things like that, like there's always an opportunity, and kind of, where we can put our thinking caps on it, and even if you like things outside of real estate, like how can you capitalize on that? Because there's always a way, there's always a silver lining.
Yeah, you're exactly right. People have to adapt, and they have to just be creative about their situation, and they can still thrive through this part of it. Just don't give up. I know obviously it's tough and it's very challenging, but you're exactly right. There's always a way to make it work for everybody. Obviously outdoor seating isn't that fun when it's raining, but if it's covered outdoor seating, you can still make it work.
That's right. So, and whenever you look at those kind of companies, you're looking at awning companies, which is either canvas or plastics, at wood, right? So that's your lumber industry. So it's going to be hitting all the different industries as well.
Absolutely. Which should open up more jobs too. So hopefully there's a little bit of an offset between the unemployment where it's at as of today, whatever that number is, and then other companies that just need the help. So hopefully that'll offset some of those numbers and get people with jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned taking a vacation. So in June, so when this episode airs, I'm taking 2 vacations, and we're going to one with my family and then one with a friend. So we're either going to now, this is really interesting, in the state of Florida, last week there was a huge lawsuit filed against the governor because he had shut down short-term rentals but was allowing for hotels to take guests. So, which makes no sense at all.
Right. Yeah.
So now they've opened up some of the counties on along the peninsula. In the Panhandle. So Pensacola, Destin, those places. Because we were going to go to Alabama because we knew for sure we could get a vacation rental But
Okay.
now that we can, now that Florida is opening up, then we might go there because I'm doing that in 2 weeks.
Okay. Wow.
So yes,
Are you
vacation.
driving down there?
No, we're fine.
Okay. That'll be interesting. I'd like to hear your feedback on the airline experience when you go down there.
Well, Caitlin that works with me, she just went to Fort Myers 2 weekends ago. She flew down and she said it was packed.
Oh, wow.
Both coming and going. So
were there masks required? Do you know?
She didn't say, so I'm going to assume not.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So I guess I haven't been keeping up on that stuff to see what it's like. I just been huddled up in the house here. So with my blanket over my head. Is it over yet? Right?
Yes.
Hermit was the term I was thinking of. Hermit. So.
Well, at least you're shaving and, you don't have that's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't look like the guys on Duck Dynasty where they had the big long beards. Yeah, I've seen some people on Facebook that I'm friends with, and they decided not to shave until they get, everything gets back to quote unquote normal, and they just have these very large, grizzly looking beards. Very funny.
Gotta love it, right?
Yep, absolutely. All right. So what else do you want to talk about today before we wrap up our episode?
I think just it's also important to know what's going on the economy side.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of money being printed right now, lots and lots of money, which devalues the dollar. So there's kind of, there's this thing, for lack of a better word, there's this thing going on if, do you want to get all your money invested now while it still has value to it, or are you going to wait until prices fall if they fall?
Right.
So I really think that people, need to do your own research and decide for yourself if you do want to wait. For me, I have a nonprofit also, and I'm actually selling one of my lots. Just so happens my neighbor wants to buy it. I hadn't planned on it at all. That's going to work out really well.
Nice.
And I'm looking for stuff to buy right now, actually, because I do want to invest now, and I think there are some good deals out there.
Oh, yeah.
Some really good deals. So are you seeing any better deals on the north side?
So on I'll call it the hard real estate side, the actual property side, I don't see too many of those deals because I'm not in those channels as much as I used to be now that I'm in the note business. But I'm definitely seeing note opportunities. I'm definitely seeing more people starting to invest like they would in February or January, which tells me that the confidence level is back, and people are starting to get back into what normal investing is like. So I've been kind of excited. Obviously, we've talked about several times about seller financing being so big an opportunity, and we're seeing more of those opportunities every week for people asking for help on how to create seller financing deals and how to just structure a deal to where they can get into it and they can get out of it, and both can be like on terms where they buy something on terms with seller financing and then they resell it with seller financing. So there's a lot of creative things that you can do, and we just love helping people out walking through that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And just to give a quick update on the vacation rental side for us,
okay,
we're slammed. We are totally slammed. So we have a mix. We have people that are local that just need to change 4 walls for a while for a long weekend. Maybe they've had a little too much family, friend togetherness time. We have that. And then we have people that are traveling in for various reasons as well. And then we've also, a couple of our properties, we have some guests that are staying with us for a couple of months at a time. So like this last weekend, we only had 2 properties that we didn't have guests in. And the one property were our clients that were staying in a unit. So really, we only had 1 property open.
Wow. It's pretty good compared to what it was in March. So
oh my gosh,
amazing what a couple months have done to the business. But I mean, you had to see that when nobody was able to do the short-term rentals or just get out of the house, that was people are going to get bound up pretty quick. Our culture is to run, go, fast, fast, fast. And then when we slow down and we're kind of isolated, I think it starts to build up, inside with people wanting to get out and do stuff. So, I mean, everyone included, I mean, even myself, as much as I like staying at home, I still want to get out and do things. So I'm hoping the vacation rental business thrives for a while.
Thank you. Yes, me
Definitely.
too. For a very long time.
Well, it helps all the economies, all the micro economies that we have, all the small businesses, because you're going to stay local and shop local, right?
That's right. Helps our cleaners when we have maintenance, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. It's everything. Our utilities. So yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Elizabeth, did we hit all the highlights that you wanted to hit today?
We did. So make sure you've got a food supply, and make sure that you decide what you're going to do with your money. If you're going to invest now, if you're going to wait for a little bit, whatever works for you and for your situation.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer. I don't. I think there's definitely opportunities right now, and there's definitely you can wait a little bit longer too. All in all, it is up to you. So, Elizabeth, that's awesome. That's all the time we got for today. So I'm Justin Bogard with BrightPath Notes.
And I am Super E, Elizabeth, with Elizabeth Maora.
All right, don't forget to check out the videocast of this episode on our YouTube channels, BrightPath Notes or Elizabeth Maora. See you guys.
Thank you.
The Two Wealth Show is produced by Justin Bogard and Super E, sponsored by BrightPath Notes and Elizabeth Maora. Thanks for listening and watching for our show.